Hey guys, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here, and today we are talking about Clipboardgate because it's getting worse and worse. And if you don't know what Clipboardgate is, this is what's going on, and this is what I'm calling it, and I think others should too after you hear this. Now, Apple's new beta version of their operating system for both iPhone and Android, iOS 14, is really showing us just how heavily data mined we are, and basically we are being data mined by everyone. Now, I first reported on this issue in a video/podcast that I did on TikTok that went way beyond Clipboardgate here with what they were doing, but this specific suspicious behavior is going way beyond TikTok, and it's in many popular apps. Now, here's the nuts and bolts of this. Researchers Tommy Misk and Talal Haj Bakri have shared details about numerous apps essentially spying on iPhone and iPad users. They have identified 53 apps exhibiting dubious behaviors, obviously including TikTok and others that I will get to. Now, the researchers found these apps were basically accessing the clipboard without the user's consent. So essentially, every time these apps opened on a device, they were accessing the clipboard. However, and this is interesting here, these apps do not access all the data on the clipboard. Rather, they are basically interested in reading texts and ignoring documents or images. And so far, that's where this is, although the initial round of 53 that they found has exploded because others are reporting on various other apps that were not listed, on their blog posts, and I will get to that as well. And so we are talking about, just like I said, numerous top-rated apps. Now, in their work, the researchers also included all the apps that do this more frequently, not just grabbing it once when it opens and closes, but are periodically making that function call or whatever it's doing to go ahead and grab the clipboard. And so this information, specifically clipboard information, can contain sensitive information about you. So for instance, you might have on your clipboard passwords in plain text or banking information, personal information like messages, emails, chats, etc. as you copy paste. I know I copy and paste quite a bit on my mobile phone, and so in short, every text that you basically have ever copied would be available in some way, shape, or form on the clipboard, and therefore these apps would have access to all of that copied data without you knowing. Until now, thanks to Apple's iOS 14. Now, in their study, they identified various popular apps, as I mentioned, belonging to pretty much every kind of niche that you can think of. And so some of the major ones that they have here that, that they listed out, and some of these have been fixed, and I will tell you which ones are fixed or not, starting with ABC News. Now, as of June 30th, ABC News has fixed, quote unquote, fixed that issue of what they were doing. CNBC has not fixed it. Al Jazeera English has, and then the following have not. Fox News, New York Times, NPR, The Economist, Huffington Post, Wall Street Journal, Vice News, and Reuters. TikTok, interestingly enough, who was caught red-handed doing a massive amount of data mining on you, has fixed that particular issue. And my question always is it actually a fix, or is it a workaround to understand that it can access something else in a different way that is not going to set off the new iOS 14 alarm? And so that's something to take into consideration. But at the moment, TikTok has quote unquote fixed that particular issue. Whether they fix their other ones of basically getting everything off of your phone and turning your GPS on at will, that has yet to be determined, but that is separate from this specific clipboard issue. To continue, there are many other apps that have not fixed things like Truecaller, Viber, Weibo, Bejeweled, Block Puzzle, Fruit Ninja, AccuWeather, Bed Bath & Beyond, Overstock, and more. Others that have fixed it are PUBG Mobile and Hotels.com. And one that came recently to light due to a colleague of mine was LinkedIn. Many of you are watching or listening to this, and LinkedIn was also caught, in iOS 14, essentially grabbing stuff right out of your clipboard. And somebody posted a live video demonstration of that happening, and iOS alerting him multiple times as LinkedIn was going through and trying to grab the data on your clipboard. So LinkedIn, you are not above this at all. And this really, I think, overall underscores that we really don't understand what our apps are doing. While we have a certain amount of permission sets, whether you're on Android or iOS, and I've always thought Android had a little more granular of a permission structure, we really don't know what this is doing. The clipboard access function is one problem, and as TikTok, for example, has shown us, the rabbit hole goes a lot deeper. Because part of this is the ability, let's say for iOS, and I give a lot of credit to Apple for building this function in to show us when third parties are trying to run function calls, let's say outside of the permission structure, because there is no, disable the clipboard function or all of that, and if you're on iOS 13, which I believe 13.3 is the latest one out there, you don't know what is happening with your clipboard. And not to mention anything else that's happening. And so I think this is a huge problem that we are going to need to address overall as we are really getting down to it. But as we are looking at this, a lot of you probably have some of these, especially on the news side, at least for most of my audience, a lot of the news apps installed onto your phone, and they're still doing it. They are accessing your clipboard, and I think this is something that we need to address because, quite frankly, while it is very convenient to have a mobile phone, it is data mining the absolute bejesus out of it, and we are now starting to get a real good look at it. So that is Clipboardgate. It will continue because, quite frankly, I think we're going to see video camera gate, and operating system kernel gate, and everything else that is going to be tied into a deep understanding of just how programmers that have been creating these apps have been able to get around permission structures or simply do things that your phone is not alerting you to, and that is a very serious problem, which is why it's your news of the day. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP, and please feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube as well. And as always, stay safe and stay online. Thanks, everyone.